Hi, I'm Karen, and our topic today is DIY tactile books. We're going to look at how easy, fun, and inexpensive these can be to produce. The tactile books we're talking about creating will pack family story time with active, hands-on learning. These books will give kids with vision loss the opportunity to become excited about reading and books and learning. A few things to keep in mind. Handmade books that you produce for your child need to be safe. If your child is very young, you'll want to supervise them while they're using the book, especially if you're gluing small objects onto the pages. Keep it simple. Resist the temptation to glue lots of different textures onto the page. It'll just be confusing for your child. Tactile books need to be fun and interactive. Use real-life examples that your child will understand. For example, instead of producing a tactile book about a visit to the zoo and all the lions and tigers, why not make a book about your family cat? I'm going to show you how easy that can be. So you're going to start with some shapes cut out of felt. So we have a felt circle for the head, a couple of felt triangles for the ears. Now we're going to add some textures. First texture we're going to add is pipe cleaners, and those become the whiskers. Then we're going to add a piece of fur. This is the tail, this is fake fur. And the final piece is an oval that's been cut out of sandpaper, and this is the cat's rough tongue. Now, since you're writing and illustrating the book yourself, you can include your child as a main character, and kids love that. Don't get bogged down in making a perfect book. As you can see, any book put into the hands of your child is better than no book at all, even if it's a bit rough around the edges. I'm going to be showing you a lot of different options in terms of materials and techniques, but you can probably use things that you have already around the house. Let's talk about shopping. Craft stores can be expensive. You might want to try the dollar store or stores like Walmart. But first have a look around the house. You might be surprised at what materials you already have. You can also talk to family and friends and ask them to collect materials for you. This is the kind of stuff that you're looking for. So this is a shelf liner that I picked up at the dollar store. It's plastic, it's very bumpy. The ever popular bubble wrap. Got some foil paper here. You probably have cotton balls around the house already, and felt and foam paper and different kinds of ribbon, often with different interesting textures. Sandpaper and glitter paper is also very rough, will give you different interesting textures. Now, if you're using a lot of fabrics in your tactile books, you may want to invest in a pair of these. These are pinking shears, and as you can see, they have the jagged edge. When you cut fabrics with these, you don't have to worry about the edges raveling. Regular scissors will do for most fabrics, however, if you're using things like vinyl or felt. Book pages. So this is what you're aiming for. If you think of board books for kids, very sturdy pages. This kind of cardboard is hard to come by. As long as you're not using regular printer paper, you should be pretty good. You just want something that's going to stand up to your child using the book a lot. Now, to put the pages of the book together, because you want to give your child the experience of flipping through the pages, you can use lots of different materials. These are brass fasteners. So the way these work is you poke through the cardboard and then open up the back legs. You can use things like binder rings, binder clips. You can even poke a hole and put through a twist tie or a pipe cleaner just to secure it. Another popular technique is to poke a hole through and just tie it off with a piece of string. Now, you may not think you need to start from scratch in terms of creating a book, and you don't. You can start with something like a binder. Already has a super heavy cover, and you can just insert your pages, take them out, and put in different pages when your child's interests are evolving. You can also use something like this, which is a photo album that I picked up at the dollar store. Again, very sturdy covers, and inside there are pockets where you can slide items for something like an experience book, which we'll be talking about in another video. Now, to attach objects to the pages, you may want to invest in a glue gun. There are a variety of price points for these. You can get them for $10, you can get them for $50. It really depends on your budget and what you're interested in using them for. The basic ones are quite small. You'll need to buy the cartridges to replace the glue. Craft glue works just as well. Glue stick if you have nothing else. Now, if you want your book to be a little bit more interactive and interesting for your child to use, you may want some of the objects in the book to be removable or movable. So to make it more interactive, you could have a rabbit that's on the cover of the book, and that rabbit can be picked up by your child and moved to different pages in the book. So for attaching something like that, you might want to look at using Velcro, one piece on the back of the rabbit and then the opposite piece of Velcro at different points in the book, or you could use something like snaps. Here are a few simple books that belong in the home library of every child with vision loss. These can be made using some of the materials and techniques we described. The first one is a texture book. So as you can see on each page, there is a square in a different texture. The first is soft, then rough, smooth, and the last page is bumpy. Shape book. Pretty obvious, different shapes, circles, squares, using interesting textures, line, and triangle. And the last one is a maze book. So this gives your child the experience of finding texture on the page and then tracking from left to right, also a very valuable skill. Be sure to check out our other videos and check out altlit.ca, CNIB's website about alternative literacy for kids and teens with vision loss. Are you on Pinterest? We are, and we'd love to share any photos that you send us of books that you've created. Be sure to share this video. Send it to family and friends. Making tactile books for kids with vision loss is a fun and creative way that you can help.